And today I'm here with Michael Trout and Rebecca Molitor. And she's new to me. And Michael is someone I've known for a while, and I've invited them to come talk and be a part of our series on the relinquishment, separation, and adoption series that's coming up starting at the end of January. So Rebecca and Michael, I'm wondering if the two of you could just talk a little bit about yourselves and what you're going to present as part of our series.
Sure.
Well,
we've been, we put together a study group a couple of years ago that's been meeting once a month since then to try to investigate some of the problems with attachment in adoption, to try to look after some of the myths in child welfare that have really caused harm to both children and adoptive parents, not to mention decades, if not centuries, of harm to birth parents. We're particularly taking a look at the moment of transition from a birth mother to an adoptive mother. We know that that moment often either does not exist, it's done in secret, it's done in a way that doesn't really give the child the sense that he's being willingly and lovingly handed to a new person, doesn't give the new person the sense that the first mother really approves, really sanctions this change. So that was the focus of the study group, but we found ourselves getting into a number of other areas, and one of those other areas is what we want to talk about in this workshop that we're going to be doing with you, Kate, and that is what goes on in the mind of a first mother who knows that she's going to relinquish her baby at birth. We no longer accept the idea that nothing goes on in her mind, nor do we accept the idea that whatever goes on in her mind fails to be transmitted to the baby. In fact, we would almost say, I think, Rebecca, of course it's transmitted to the baby. Whatever the mother is thinking and feeling is likely experienced by the baby. If that's so, and the first mother is having to go through all sorts of psychological shenanigans to get away with this, to be able to stand it, to be able to pretend it never happened, to be able to not hurt, not grieve the whole 9 months of the pregnancy. If we accept that that's the way it is, that she is going to grieve, she is going to feel, she is going to think, then what does she think? And what happens when she just can't allow herself to think or feel? We believe when she can't allow herself, that becomes the most dangerous for the prenate, because we think she is at least prone. It may be that it's much worse than that, at least prone to dissociation, simply as an adaptive defense. I'm not here. There's not a baby inside me. None of this is happening. It will be all over soon. Oops, I slipped and said it, didn't I? That meant there is something happening. Well, there's nothing happening, but it'll be over soon anyway, and I'll forget all about it and get back to our life, the life I had before. And the creepy thing is that most of us in the world around that first mother, including the child welfare agencies, the local pastor, the birth mother's family, the folks at the maternity home where she may go, all of those people seem to conspire with her to agree that that's the way it's going to be. You're not going to feel anything, and this is just going to go away soon. And so Rebecca's wonderful contribution to this is going to be to suggest some things that can be done prior to the birth of the baby that might break that log jam and might make dissociation less likely.
Yeah.
Thanks, Michael, for that great introduction, because I think just now as you were speaking, it made me think about like why we even do this. And I know people are well aware of who you are, and my background has been in 25 years of doing like child welfare work, from family preservation to adoption preservation, foster care therapist, in my own private practice. And now, of course, that involves prenatal bonding facilitation work too. But the whole time you were talking, I kept thinking about when I first started in the 90s, we were told the very beginning, we don't want them to get too close to those birth parents because we want them to be able to attach strongly to these adoptive parents. And then somewhere along the line, it's shifted to, well, as long as they attach to someone. And as we were contemplating this work that we're going to present to you guys, I thought to myself, well, wouldn't it be awesome if that someone was the very first mother? Because in all of my work over the last couple decades, whether they're adult adoptees or whether they're children, I keep going back to that same question with folks, which is, did that first mother, did that first father really see me? Did they really love me? Did they really notice me? And one of the things I'll present in our talk is an adult adoptee who participated in prenatal bonding. And she, in fact, asked herself that question while she was pregnant with her child. Did my mom even know I was here? And so I think that the potential of what prenatal bonding work can do is really bring the first mother and everybody else around to really be present and to really get connected without fear of the connection, and then grieve the loss of connection like we do in life, and accept that loss, and then say, and now here we are, right? Without this fear of saying what happened before. So I think I'm terribly interested in how this will go as our talk together, and I'm looking forward to our participants hearing more about it, hearing what their thoughts are. I haven't been in child welfare for about 10 years now, but I see now adults and children in my office. And I'm curious to see what some of our folks that we'll have with us that day when we speak, what they're noticing and what they're hearing now from people and what their thoughts are about this idea even.
Well, it's very interesting to hear you both talk. I do have adoption agencies here who report to me that they are aware that babies have experiences, and they prepare their parents, their adoptive parents, for that. And I find that's very fascinating for me to see and hear, because I've been working for so long for people to really get it, that babies have experiences. So to hear you two talk, I'm excited. It gives me goosebumps. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. They are talking in February. They are talking on supporting connection between first mothers and their unborns as an antidote to dissociation. So that will be a part of our relinquishment, separation, adoption series that starts at the end of January. So thank you, and we'll see you there.
Thanks, Kate.